Welcome to the BrainyX channel. In this video, we are going to do an introduction to adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. But first, let's remind ourselves how adding and subtracting normal fractions like this one works, and then we will use that same idea with basic algebraic fractions. Here the question says we need to simplify this fully. Now, whenever you see fractions that are being added or subtracted, it is very important to find the lowest common denominator, also called the LCD. Now, the lowest common denominator for this is 30. And if you don't know how to get your lowest common denominator, all you need to do is to list the factors for all three of these denominators. And you list these factors until you find the lowest number that is common to all three of these denominators. Let's list the factors for 5, and the factors for 3, and also the factors for 2. Now note that 30 is the first factor that appears in all three these denominators. That means that 30 is your lowest common denominator. So what we do now is we replace all the denominators with the lowest common denominator. So I'm going to write 30 plus 30 and minus 30. Now the next question that we need to ask is, what did I do with this 5 to get to 30? Yes. 5 times 6 gives me 30. So what I do at the bottom, I have to do at the top. So 4 times 6 gives us 24. Look at the 3. What must I do to 3 to make it 30? I have to multiply it by 10. And what I do at the bottom, I need to do at the top. And 2 times 10 gives me 20. And here for 2, I have to multiply by 15 to make it 30. So, and what I do at the bottom, I do at the top. So that gives me 15. So now I have rewritten all these fractions so that they have the same LCD. So on a new line, I can write this LCD, draw this line, and then we can simply add or subtract the numerators. So 24 plus 20 minus 15. And that gives me 44 minus 15 is 29 over 30. I cannot simplify this any further, so this is the final answer. Now let's move to our first algebraic fraction example. Now an algebraic fraction is a fraction where the numerator or the denominator contains variables. Now because we have a plus sign in between the fractions, we know we have to find a lowest common denominator, and that is 12. So what do we do now? We replace each of these denominators with the lowest common denominator. So I'm going to start off with this. And now, before I carry on, maybe we won't have enough space, so let's do a fraction at a time. What do I have to do to 4 to get it to 12? Yes, I have to multiply it by 3. 4 times 3 gives me 12. And what I do at the bottom, I must do at the top. So x times 3 gives me 3x. Now let's add the plus sign. And now let's replace this denominator with my LCD. What must I do with the 3 to get it to 12? I have to multiply it by 4. What I do at the bottom, I have to do at the top. X times 4 gives me 4x. Now that I've rewritten both the fractions, I can now combine them because I have a common denominator now. So I can write my 12 and I draw a longer line. Now let's add the numerators. 3x plus 4x over 12. And now because we have like terms, this term contains an x and this term contains an x, so we can combine these two terms. 3x plus 4x gives us 7x over 12. I cannot simplify this any further. I cannot cancel, so this is my final answer. Okay, example 2 looks a bit different because only the first term is written as a fraction and not this x or the 1. But remember, any whole term can be written as a fraction. For example, we can write x over 1 and 1 over 1. So let's rewrite this whole expression as fractions. Now that all the terms are fractions, I'm going to find my lowest common denominator. And the denominators for these terms are 4, 1, and 1. So my lowest common denominator is 4. Now we can replace all our denominators with the lowest common denominator. Now this 4 is already the lowest common denominator, so I leave it as is. What did I do with this 4 to make it 4? Nothing, so my numerator stays the same. Now let's change this 1 into the lowest common denominator. What did I have to do with this 1 to make it a 4? I had to times it by 4. What I do at the bottom, I must do at the top. X times 4 gives me 4x. And now let's do the same. I change that to my lowest common denominator. Again, I have to times it by 4. So and what I do at the bottom, I do at the top. There we go. Now that I've rewritten all the fractions so that we have the same lowest common denominator, I can combine them. So I write 4 and I draw my fraction line. Now let's add the numerators. 3x plus 4x minus 4. I've got x in this term, I've got x in this term, and not in this term. So I can combine these two terms. So 3x plus 4x gives us 7x minus 4 over 4. But be careful, don't go and cancel these 4's. Why not? Because we have two terms at the top, this 4 and this 7x, because we are not allowed to cancel individual terms in a fraction. So this is my final simplified answer. For example 3, I can see that my denominators are variables, but it works exactly the same. We still need to find a lowest common denominator. And in this case, the lowest common denominator is AB. And how did I get that? I took my variables and I multiplied them. It is the same as if I would have had 3 and 5 as my denominators. The LCD for 3 and 5 is 15. And to get the 15, I had to multiply 3 times 5 to get the 15. So to get my lowest common denominator for A and B, I have to multiply A and B. Now that I know that my LCD is AB, I can rewrite these fractions. Let's change this A to AB. And how did I get this? I had to multiply by B. A times B gives me AB. And what I do at the bottom, I do at the top. So this gives me 5B. So I have to change this B to my LCD. So AB. So how did I get this? I had to multiply with A. And what I do at the bottom, I do at the top. Now that all my denominators are the same, I can subtract my numerators. So I can rewrite it like this. And I can say 5B minus 3A. Now I want you to be careful. You cannot go and say 5 minus 3 because these are not like terms. This term contains a B, this term contains an A. So this is my fully simplified answer. Example 4 is moving more towards the type of questions that we will be doing in grade 10, but this is still very basic. The rule stays the same. Whenever you're adding or subtracting any fractions, you need to find a lowest common denominator. Now, for example 4, we have 2x and this x as denominators, so my LCD is 2x. Now you can ask me, why 2x? Why not 2x times x and have 2x squared as my lowest common denominator? You can use that. There's nothing wrong with that. You will just need to add more steps to get to the final answer. So let me show you how I got to this 2x. Remember, whenever you have to work out your LCD must be the smallest denominator that both fractions can change into. This first fraction already has this 2x. Now I can ask myself this. Can I do anything to this x to change it to look like this 2x? And the answer is yes. I can just multiply it with 2. 2 times x will give me 2x. And that's where I got this 2x from. Now that I know that my lowest common denominator is 2x, I can change all my fractions so that they have 2x as a denominator. I do not need to change this to x. It is already the lowest common denominator. That means my numerator is going to stay the same. So I can rewrite this first fraction exactly as is. Now the second fraction, x is the denominator. So let's rewrite this x as 2x. So what did I have to do with this x to make it 2x? I had to multiply it by 2. What I do at the bottom, I have to do at the top. And 3x times 2 is 6x. Now that I have a common denominator at the bottom, I can combine my fractions. So I write my common denominator and I add my fraction line. Let's add the numerators. X plus 1 plus 6x. Now it's time to simplify the numerators, and I do that by combining all my like terms. Here I have x in this term. This term has no variables, and this term has 6x. So that means I can combine these two terms. X plus 6x gives us 7x, and I still need to add the 1 over 2x. I cannot simplify this any further. I cannot cancel any terms. And why is that? Because I have terms at the top, and the rule states that I cannot cancel if I have individual terms. So this is the final answer. Example 5. This is the last example for this video. And what do we have here? We have two fractions separated by a minus sign. So what do we need to do? Yes, we need to find the lowest common denominator. But have a look at the denominators. This denominator has two terms, and this denominator also has two terms. Therefore, it's starting to become very important to try and factorize your denominators as much as possible, especially if they have more than two terms. And the reason for that is because it will make your life so much easier to find your lowest common denominator if you factorize first. So let's do that. Let's rewrite this expression, but this time we will factorize the denominators as much as possible. So I will write x over. Now 5 minus x, I cannot do anything with this as yet. So I'm going to rewrite it exactly the same, but I will add brackets. Now let's do 3x minus 40. I'm not really worried about the numerators. It is the denominators that we want to factorize. So let's have a look at this denominator. We've got x squared minus 5x. What can I do with this? Yes, we can take out x as a common factor. What is left over for the bracket? X squared divided by x is x. Negative 5x divided by x is negative 5. Now it's starting to look like something. I've got 5 minus x as a denominator, and here I have x multiplied x minus 5. These two brackets nearly look the same, but they are still opposites. Why? Because my signs differ. I've got a positive x, negative x, positive 5, negative 5. So what can we do? We can do a sign change. All we have to do is to decide which bracket we want to apply the sign change to. Now, I don't like it when my x is at the end of a bracket, so I'm going to do the sign change to this bracket. I'm going to rewrite the numerator, and now let's open the brackets and do the sign change. I've got negative x. I need to change it to positive, so I'll write it at the beginning of the bracket. It's positive. Positive 5 must change to negative 5, so I can write it like so. And now, the sign in front of the bracket is positive. I need to change that sign. That means I need to change it to negative. Now, you're going to ask me now, is this algebraically correct? Yes. If I have to multiply this negative sign back into this bracket, I will end up with the same signs as this original bracket. So let's finish up this fraction. That stays the same for now. Now we still have this negative sign here in the denominator. You can, if you want to, move it to the top. It doesn't matter. The sign for your fraction still stays the same, even if it is at the bottom or the top. So I'm just going to move it to the numerator. Okay, now let's have a look at the denominators. We've got x minus 5. So this bracket and this bracket is exactly the same. And we also have this x outside the bracket. So my lowest common denominator is x and then x minus 5. Remember in example 4, we did a similar example. Your LCD must be the smallest denominator that both fractions can change into. Now this denominator is already x multiplied by x minus 5. Now looking at this x minus 5, what does this x minus 5 need to look like this? Yes, just an x. So that's why my lowest common denominator is x multiplied by x minus 5. Okay, what do we do now? We change all the denominators in all the fractions to have the same LCD. So x minus 5. And what did I do with this denominator to get to this? I had to multiply by x. So I have to multiply by x at the top. That will give me negative x squared. And in this fraction, the denominator is already the same as the LCD. So I just rewrite this whole fraction as is. And now that all my fractions have the same LCD, I can combine my numerators. So I just write my LCD at the bottom and I draw a long line. And let's add the numerators. So it's minus x squared minus, and now it's very important to add brackets, especially when you're working with a minus sign. 3x minus 40. So you might ask me, why did I add those brackets? Because this numerator is like a package. And you can't just apply the negative sign to this first term. You must apply the negative sign to this whole numerator. Now let's rewrite this numerator by multiplying this negative sign into the brackets so that we can get rid of the brackets. So we have negative x squared minus 3x plus 40 over x minus 5. Have a look at this numerator. It is a trinomial, so we need to check if we can factorize this numerator before we say that we are done. Let's just move everything up to this side. Now, I don't want to work with this negative x squared to factorize this trinomial. So let's take out the negative sign. And now be careful. If you do that, you have to change all the signs inside the bracket. And I'm going to show you why in a second. And I'm going to say x minus 5. Because if I multiply this minus back into the bracket, the negative times with the positive x squared will give me negative x squared. Negative times with positive 3x gives us negative 3x, and negative times negative 40 will give me positive 40. Okay, now we're going to try and factorize this. Oops, I forgot to write the equal sign. Equals, let's factorize this over x minus 5. This is a basic trinomial because the leading coefficient is 1. So we need two numbers. When multiplied will give us negative 40. And when I add those two numbers will give me this positive 3, which is the coefficient for this middle term. So let's find the factor pairs for 40. Let's ignore the negative sign for now. It will be 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, and 5 times 8. Let's have a look at the number pairs. 1 and 40 will not get me to positive 3. The 2 and the 20 neither. 10 minus 4 will give me 6. So, and 10 plus 4 will give me 14. So that one won't work either. Now here, if I have positive 8, negative 5. So 8 minus 5, yes, that will give me positive 3. And let's do a final test. Negative 5 times positive 8, yes, will get me to negative 40. So I'm working with x's. Now let's see, we've got negative 5 and positive 8. Now that I've factorized the numerator, I can see if I can cancel. And yes, I can. This x minus 5 and this x minus 5 can cancel. So I'm left with x plus 8 over x. Why can't I cancel any further? Because I have two terms at the top and we are not allowed to cancel separate terms. Even if I do this, now I've changed this to a factor. They are not common factors anymore because this is now x plus 8 and this is x. So this is my final simplified answer. And that brings us to the end of this introduction to adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. The main thing to remember is that algebraic fractions follow the same basic rule as normal fractions. Before we add or subtract, we need a common denominator. In this video, we focused on building the basic method step by step so that the process makes sense before we move on. In the next video, we will work through proper grade 10 algebraic fraction examples, similar to the type of questions you may see in tests and exams. See you in the next video.